What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. This is the latest Polymer 80 build, a flat Dark Earth Exhale Weaponworks frame with a Loki tactical slide, and we'll be getting more into the parts here in a few minutes. I started to do a build video with this and my dog started going crazy barking. The audio was pretty much sabotaged, so I just gave up on it and finished the project, so I thought I would show you guys what we did with this build. Now before we get into this video is going to be mainly about this here. We will be throwing in some other Polymer 80 related projects, I guess you could say. So big thank you to you guys for stopping by. I really do appreciate all your support. Let's get into this FDE Polymer 80. So of course, anytime I do a Polymer 80 build, I always use an Exhale Weaponworks frame. So what differs from a Polymer 80 frame, just that you could order anywhere, to an Exhale Weaponworks frame? Well guys, a regular Polymer 80 frame is not going to look as awesome as these. So what Exhale does is he gets Polymer 80 kits in, he puts his magic touch on there of stippling, working on the trigger guard, which is now an option. You do not have to get the trigger guard work, and you can save a little bit of money, but I'm telling you guys, he does some amazing work on that trigger guard. Now, what's cool about this is he still can ship these right to your door. He simply just does all the stipple work, does not finish the frame in any way, so it can be sent right to your house. Now a lot of guys are confused about that process, and what I always tell them is, it really depends on your state and local laws when it comes to the Polymer 80s. I get asked a ton of questions about, serializing and carrying, and honestly guys, I can't really give you any advice when it comes to that. You're gonna have to look into your local and state laws. Now let's do a quick recap on the Polymer 80 builds that we've done here on the channel. And as we talk about these, I will link the video above where we actually do the build and go a little bit more in depth on these builds. So the first build that I've ever done when it comes to a Polymer 80 is this gray frame right here. Now it has changed up quite a bit since we did the actual build video with all the parts that we initially used, but it's still an awesome build. I think it's just evolving from there. The frame is of course an Exhale Weaponworks frame. We are running a United R&D slide, the Meprolite FT Bullseye sight, which I'm honestly a pretty big fan of it. In this build we're also running a Velocity Arms barrel, and this barrel actually belongs to Matt over at Exhale. Very, very cool barrel. It does have like a cutout here in the top that you can see through. All in all, pretty unique. Now I'm also running a TBRC compensator on here, Streamlight TLR1HL, SSVI trigger. This thing is pretty decked out, and all in all, it's been running flawlessly. The second build that we did here on the channel is this OD Green Polymer 80 V2 frame, also from Exhale Weaponworks. Now he really outdid himself on this frame. Not only did he do the actual stipple work, the trigger guard work, he did some additional work up here on the beaver tail, and you can get such a high grip on this gun. It shoots so flat, it is extremely comfortable, and I'm just really digging the Polymer 80 V2 Glock 17 size frames. Now on these frames you can run a Glock 17 slide, you can also run a Glock 34 slide, and we have a Glock 34 slide coming in from Loki Tactical. I really can't put a time frame on it. They got super busy. They actually had to close their books because they got so busy, but they will be reopening soon, and hopefully we'll have that Glock 34 slide here in the next few months. Now, but let's get into the newest Polymer 80 build. So I've been wanting a flat Dark Earth Polymer 80 frame for quite some time to go with this Loki Tactical Neo slide. Now the slide is in a flat Dark Earth battle worn type finish, and the Neo slide is very unique because from a distance it looks awesome, but this slide is really kick-ass once you get up close to it. Little things like the rear serrations are beveled, or I don't know if beveled's the right word, but they start really thin at the bottom and they get wider as they go up. Very, very grippy. All in all, this slide is just very unique. This slide also has some awesome front cocking serrations, the dimpling all the way across the top, and they do have the top window with cocking serrations, and then the Loki Tactical symbol right up there on top. So this slide is awesome. Loki actually cut this slide for me. I was down in Florida, got to go hang out with them, and they presented me with this slide. It was really cool of them. Chris and Ryan are great dudes. Loki Tactical is doing some amazing things in the gun community. Definitely be on the lookout for some of their upcoming projects. Now, another thing that I was really excited about with this build was the new parts kits that Matt over at Exhale Weaponworks is offering on his website. This is a Shadow Systems lower parts kit. Now the lower parts kit is going to consist of your trigger, a factory extended mag release, a ghost connector, and then all of your small pins, trigger housing, things like that. But one thing that I'm really digging with this kit is this Shadow Systems trigger. Now it does look a little bit different than some of the other flat face triggers that I have. It kind of sits at an angle, and right now I haven't done any polishing or anything on this trigger, but it is pulling right about 4.5 to 5 pounds, which honestly I thought that was a little on the heavy side, so we probably will do some polishing on this here soon. Honestly guys, a little trigger polish can go a long way, but here's the take up. Not much take up at all. Very clean break. Not too bad of a reset. All in all, for a lower parts kit that comes with a trigger, all of the parts needed, a factory extended mag release, it's a really, really good deal, and I will include a discount code for Exhale Weapon Works website down below. Now, when you build a Polymer 80, it's not always going to be the smoothest thing in the world right out of the gate. As you can see, this one isn't bad, but it could definitely be broken in, and that's what we're going to go to the range for. I dedicated a few hundred rounds set aside for this build, so we're just going to go out there, run it, have a little bit of fun with it. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention on this build, and I'm sorry guys, the Faxon barrel. So Faxon recently sent over a Glock 19 barrel, a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 compact barrel, and then a 10.5 inch AR barrel. Now we're going to be doing separate videos on all these barrels. They're flame fluted, they are sweet. Faxon is putting out some awesome barrels. But not to get sidetracked there, I do have 200 rounds set aside to break this build in. And I do get questions about this a lot, and I highly recommend whenever you build a Polymer 80, you want to make sure the slide is functioning freely. You want to make sure it's relatively smooth before you go out to the range. Sometimes when you throw a slide on your Polymer 80 build, as soon as you get done, it's not the smoothest thing. I would recommend working that in. Put a little bit of lube on there. You may have to spend 25-30 minutes, racking it, but make sure it is relatively smooth before you hit the range, and you should save yourself a little bit of hassle. Now let's put this guy up, and I do have one other thing I want to show you guys, and that is the new $230 option frames from Exhale Weapon Works. Now he does have different styles, things like that. He did this one in a basket weave, and I'm not positive if he will do that on the $230 options. He did that for me. I thought it would look cool, but this is pretty much what you're gonna get for $230. The main thing that differs from the $230 option compared to some of his other frames is all of the trigger guard work that he puts into these frames. Now Matt has become a close friend. We pretty much talk daily now, and he spends more time on the trigger guard than he does the actual stipple work. Now each one of these frames do take him a pretty good amount of time, but he really puts the detail and finish work into these trigger guards. And guys, it really is a huge step up, but if you are a little more budget minded and you're looking for a Polymer 80 frame but you don't want to break the bank, for $230 these frames are sick. Now, like I said, they do vary in price depending on what you want, but you can get a baseline Exhale Weapon Works stippled frame for $230. But that's going to wrap it up on the new Polymer 80 build. I will put a complete build list down in the video description, along with other links and discount codes. I am affiliated with some of those links. Some of them I am not, but either way, thank you guys for your support. Now, as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.